Hi, my name is Natalie and welcome to my channel. And I wanted to talk about this lovely book that came out last month called The Wonder of Wool, A Knitter's Guide to Pure Breed Sheep, as you can see here. So this book has been co-authored by two ladies called Justine and Jess, and it's such a beautiful book. And it's all about what it says, pure breed sheep. So it's all about the British sheep breeds, and it's got some gorgeous photos in it, as you can see, sort of here, beautiful sheep. And I just thought this book coming out was sort of perfect timing with the fact I've just recently set up Small Flock Yarns, which obviously is about reviving the British wool industry, helping towards that along with many other people in the UK, and just obviously having British sheep breeds myself on my small holding. And I just was so excited that this book was going to be released. And they've got numerous things in this book talking about the different types of breeds of sheep, from the primitive breeds to the downs and short wools to the long wools. And there's also, I believe, 10 knitting projects in here, 10 knitting patterns as well, that incorporate these beautiful, gorgeous British wools. And they've gone to all the effort here of knitting swatches of different ones, so you can kind of see how they knit up and the natural undyed colours of them. And what I loved as well, it's almost like a little directory, because it gives like an introduction into the British wool industry, the sheep shearing, stock fast fashion, choosing a new direction, talking about the highs and lows of the wool industry and everything that happened, over the years in Britain with the wool and the sheep rearing. And what I also really love about this, it's got a breed directory, which I think is amazing. As you can see there. And again, it's just got lovely little cute balls of wool there, and just states like the breeds of them, including Romneys, so that's amazing. And then what it does, for anybody that's interested in the British wool breeds, what I love about it as well is it gives you all the wool characteristics of each breed, and tips for spinners and knitters as well. So not just hand knitting, it also gives tips for people that want to spin with them. And it's sort of, from reading it does tell you, oh yeah, that's good for hand knitting, that one isn't so much, this is like, and how it should, can be spun, whether it's worsted spun or if it's hand spun, what they sort of work well. So for example here, the Hebridean sheep, it has a medium staple length, so it can be worsted or woolen spun. A suitable alternative is the Black Welsh Mountain. It just gives so many sort of amazing tips and guides. And obviously we have my love of the Romneys in here as well, which is amazing, which again, it gives all the lovely characteristics of it. Again, it says for finer parts of the fleece can be used for next to skin garments that are machine washable, and it can be comparable to the Australian Merino, which I already know about that because of some of mine are New Zealand Romneys, and from my experience of that, I've learned that they do have merino sort of wool in them, so that gives them that real softness that I found compared to some of the Kent Romneys sort of wool that we've had spun as well for small, which is also soft, but it's just a slightly different kind of texture to the Kent Romneys, which is really interesting when you see the whole process and how they're spun, which is great. But yeah, and it just gives you staple lengths. I just think it's amazing. And it was lovely to see the sheep breed in here of the South Down, which I just thought was so lovely. They're such cute little like teddy bear sheep. But they're very sweet little sheep. So it's just lovely seeing about that. There's also some explanations about tools, materials and sizing in there as well. Talking about hank winders, ball winders, straight needles, all the accessories as a knitter you would use potentially. How to work with heritage wool. And again, it's just lovely explanations, lovely diagrams. It's just such really nice. It's a hardback book. It's a lovely quality, beautiful quality book. And like I said, amazing photos. And then you get on to the projects, which is really exciting. So they're all made with different sheep breeds. So like, for example, this jumper here is like a Wensleydale that's been knitted with Wensleydale wool, you can see there. And so many different patterns, and they're lovely. And then there's Leicester long wool, and again, look at these gorgeous photos here. They're just, sheep, for me, like sheep are so beautiful to look at. I just think they're so lovely. You know, you've got a lovely sort of waistcoat pattern here, or a gilet. It's a gilet, they've called it. And that's using Leicester long wool. Just like, and also they've even got a Romney in here, because that's the first thing I looked at when I got the book. I was like, oh, have they got Romney? Are they knitting with a Romney wool? Which they've got like lovely hat patterns as well. So if you're not wanting to do a whole, you know, garment, you can do some accessories. And again, it's lovely how they combine the natural colour wools there. It's just so nice, so lovely, really, really nice. And yeah, they've got the Simo sweater in Romney. Oh, it's a picture of a lovely Romney sheep there. You can see, just look like my cute little Romneys. And yeah, it's got the sweater there. The Simo sweater in Romney, and it's like a massive, massive oversized jumper, which is lovely for the winter time. You know, they have a good range of sizes as well in this book for the different patterns. And I mean, a lot of these with the small flock yarns, you could apply them to the patterns. And this one particularly reminded me of our lovely Wallace Diamond Farm yarn, if you've seen our website here, this sort of colouring, which is lovely. And it's a very nice classic sweater design. It's beautiful with some lovely stitch texture in there. I thought it was very classic, very chic, very nice pattern there. And like I said, I think, you know, our yarns could be applied to a few of these. You might have to just change the needle size slightly to match their tensions, potentially, because some are DK and some are, which is what ours is, but they're maybe knitted on a slightly bigger needle. You might find that works and you like that rather than the recommended 3.75 mil I've said. But again, it depends on what you're knitting and the, you know, how dense you need the fabric, or looser you need the fabric of the knitting. So, you know, that all, but you can experiment, which is quite exciting. So yeah, it's just such a lovely book, and it's got special techniques at the end, which just gives you a little bit of help in finishing, using mattress stitch, you know, German short row shaping, 3 needle cast off or bind off in America, you know, 4 stitch buttonhole. It's just, and how to block. It's just really, really lovely. And then it just gives a little source guide as well, just to sort of, if you're interested in particular breeds of sheep, where you can potentially get some of the yarns from as well. And it's got some here for the Romneys. Unfortunately, at the time of printing, small flock yarns hadn't been set up yet, but you know, for Romney, remember small flock yarns. we could be on there too. So it's yeah, a lovely, lovely book, and I'm super excited to be stocking this in the Small Flock Yarns shop. So if you're interested in this book, I highly recommend visiting my website. I've put a link in the description below, so you can have a little look through that and see what you think. And I'm sure this is going to be a super popular book. And I just wanted to quickly show you this beautiful cardigan design as well, which is knitted with Castle Milk Moorit and Blueface Leicester Blend wool as well, which is just stunning. There's so many things in it. It's just a lovely, almost like a coffee table book you could have, because the pictures, it's just so lovely. It's just a lovely one for your, especially if you're into British breeds, it's a lovely book for your collection, for your knitting book collection, your craft book collection. I would highly recommend it. I've enjoyed really reading it. I know I'm perhaps a little bit biased because I'm really into my British wool and the British wool industry and the British breeds, but I also learnt a lot through reading this as well, you know, that you can't always find just trying to, you spend hours looking through Google and internet searches trying to find out about all the breeds in England, and this is just all condensed. Someone's done the work for you, and you can just look. And like I said, from a spinner or knitter's perspective, you can look at what wools work as well for your knitting, because of the wonderful directory in here. So I hope you enjoyed having a look through this book with me, and I'm sure it's going to be a very popular book. Like I said, it only came out last month, so it's super new, but I can imagine there'll be lots, especially in the UK, I can imagine there'll be a lot of people very interested in seeing and reading this book. So I'm going to go off now to have another look at the patterns and see what I'm potentially inspired by with my wools. And if you like this video and you'd like to see more of what I'm doing with small flock yarns and the British wool, then please feel free to subscribe to the channel. And once again, thank you for watching.